Red Canyon. I'm surrounded by these hoodoos. Got some sagebrush. Erosion just makes these ripples.
We're seeing some amazing old trees that have been burned, but then are living very healthily, like this one. Somehow it's hung on.
Another one. So cool. We're here at the Bryce Canyon Lodge. We snagged a table without a reservation. This is Sunset Point of Bryce Canyon. And we're here at sunset.
Hiking in Bryce.
Wow.
We continue to be stunned. Just walking down this path. The light keeps changing, the angles keep changing. And look at this rock here just sitting on the top. How can it stay there?
That's the path walking back up. Well, we're here, not quite at the crack of dawn, at Sunrise Point today, looking at the hoodoos. Fins are formed first, and then holes eventually form in them, and then it becomes a hoodoo. These trees just grow in this rock and weather it. Heading down Navajo Loop. This is probably the best lighting of Thor's hammer. Hoodoos, the way they're carved out in these lines, make it look like a ornamental chair rail or molding.
Yeah.
The colors are really spectacular when we get in the shade just a little.
This is the hike down through the hoodoos. We're going hoodooing. Look at all these switchbacks. Wow, look at these switchbacks.
Winding our way through these fins and hoodoos. This is two bridges. Little one there, and then the larger one.
In between those two.
Oh, looks like an alien head.
I know, I was thinking it looked like E.T.
Wow, this
Super
is
close.
Queen Victoria here.
She's looking that way, and her hands are in front of her, and her dress kind of trails behind her. See, and it looks like she's standing on a platform.
Thank you. This is cool. A little hole in there. A bright blue sky. They've really done a good job on these paths, shoring up parts that are eroding with nice looking bricks that are hardly even noticeable.
Take your time.
Everything in the sun now. We are traveling the 18-mile road through Bryce Canyon, and we're at Natural Bridge viewpoint. First you have what they call a fin, and then it starts eroding with hollows, forming an arch or bridge. It's made out of limestone, but the gray cap rock is a harder dolomitic limestone that erodes slower, and then that gradually falls, making a hoodoo. We're at the highest elevation of the park, and we're about 9,000 feet up now. It's Agua Canyon, and we're at 8,800 feet. Still a lot of snow at Rainbow Point. 9,100 feet. So once there was a lake 50 million years ago up here, and then 70 million years ago there was an uplift. Then 6 million years ago through today there's weathering and erosion. We're on the Bristle Pine Loop Trail, encountering some snowy conditions in ponderosa trees. 7 years ago, there was a fire that burned how many acres? 2,000 acres. This rugged bark is an adaptation to withstand fire better. So this is a bristlecone pine. They can go into a dormant state to last through droughts. The oldest one known is 5,000 years old, and the ones here in Bryce are thought to be 1,600 years old. The Bristle Pine Loop Trail.
Yep, we're still hiking.
The Pink Cliffs of Bryce used to be a freshwater lake, and then the Gray Cliffs 90 million years ago was a sea. And then it goes down to the White Cliffs of 190 million years ago, which was a dune-filled desert. And then the Vermilion Cliffs, desert with shallow streams. Chocolate Cliffs 250 million years ago was swampy. This is Ponderosa Point, looking into Ponderosa Canyon.
We're on the Tower Bridge hike, part of the Fairyland Loop.
Down into the canyon now. Oh, wow.
Look at the blue and the white contrast.
These look like pipes.
No kidding. I see an eagle with its back to us in profile and its head up, pointing up to the sky. And this hoodoo. Liking it?
It's great. It's spectacular. All these squiggly marks are insect burrows. And look how the bark has grown twisted all the way up.
We're here at the Bryce Canyon Lodge. We had dinner here last night. It was so good we came back for more.
Rainbow trout is
Rainbow
awesome.
trout is the Killer. And this is the Warm Bowl, Hiker's Delight. And here's the lodge.
We're driving to Kodachrome State Park. Well, we're not even out of the parking lot. We see some of these spires that Kodachrome is famous for, which is the only place on Earth you can see them. They don't actually know how they formed. Already, this is so much different than Bryce Canyon because of the brush, the sagebrush and these yellow bushes. So in the grand staircase, we're about 180 million years down now to 140. So it was mid-Jurassic to Cretaceous periods. But these rocks look way different than the hoodoos. Different color, different layer, older rock. Here's another one of those sandpipes. We think these striated mountains look like the Badlands of South Dakota because of these bands of darker color in the white. We're at Ballerina Spire. These trees are full of berries. All of them. There's lots of trees here, lots of junipers. Now that's wild. Now we're walking on this slick rock. I think this is slick rock. It's like hardened sand dunes right beside these things that look like ovens. Wow. This is cool. These huge boulders that fell off of this massive feature. This tree looks like it's been split. How that white rock just juts out of there. Oh my gosh. Wow. Deep gash, it looks like. All across this ledge. These are so freaky looking, these bulbous rocks. Looks like big blobs. Closing in on this big gash. You can see that it's just a little layer of different rock. Oh my goodness. What a cool 360 here. You can see Bryce in the distance there, which is the highest level of the grand staircase. Coming back down from Panorama Point. They call it Kodachrome for a reason. Some tacos. We're here in Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument to see unique hoodoos. Oh, these are wild. This is the Devil's Garden. This is incredible. You just walk around amongst these things. There's like, I don't know, 100 of these things all around. I'm like in a little cave. One more hike today at Escalante Petrified Forest State Park. We're getting our poles out this time. This 1.5 mile trail was winding up to the top of this mesa, and soon we should start seeing some petrified wood. So they're saying this used to be a stream, and the different colors of the rocks caused by different minerals, which also caused the different colors in the petrified wood. And this used to be a gathering spot for dinosaurs. And this is the Colorado River Gorge. Looky, looky, looky. We found some petrified wood. The golds are really bright. This is a long log. Bright colors of the red and golds. Scattered all around this trail. Sometimes just little stumps coming out of the ground. Other times big broken logs. One of the steps in this path is petrified wood. I feel bad stepping on it. These rocks have fuzzy things. It looks like they are all, it has a disease. I like how in this park, the petrified wood is just coming out of the ground. This one's particularly bright, but it's in the shade and it might be just showing up better. That really does look like a staircase there.
They say it's the best because they can identify the species, and they think it's a conifer.
We are at Lower Calf Creek Falls in Escalante Grand Staircase, and it's just starting our 6-mile hike. Purple cactus. And lots of it.
Marks in the...
Sunrise over the canyon. It lit things up quickly when it came over that. Going up a rock staircase. We're right on this ledge here. Trail goes along Calf Creek, which carved this canyon. We're traveling on fine sand. Path goes from rocks to sand, and then we're traveling through brush, and we're admiring these curvatures where rock slabs have fallen out, or I'm not sure if the water carved it. Well, the nature trail said that There were several granaries here where they stored grain. That looks like it could be one. So 175 million years ago, this part of the world was at the equator and started drifting away, and it became more arid. Sandstone came in and created these layers. The three figures that are painted in pigment right in the middle of the screen above that diagonal were painted by the Fremont Indians. We just saw a beaver. The stripes are caused by water coming over the top with different minerals. That is an amazing arch. Those stripes look like they've been painted. Lower Calf Creek Falls. A lot of green moss up there, algae or something, and plant life under the ridges that are being fed by the mist. I can feel it on my face. Walking back on the other side of the canyon. Now the whole canyon's lit up. They're really bright purple now. We just finished our hike, and 2 miles up the road from our hike is Kiva Coffee House. With some great views. We're heading into Boulder now. We're at Anasazi State Park and Museum, and this is just remnants of a pueblo. It's L-shaped. You can still see the stake supports in between the rooms. This is a pit house dug underground, thought to have been used as more of an insulated structure underground. This shows the ladder that they entered from. They lived here around 1270 AD. The entire L-shaped Pueblo housing site has a structure over it protecting it. This is the visitor center, and on the wall is the pictograph that we saw on our walk this morning on the canyon walls. This is a replica of where the ancestral Puebloans lived between 700 and 1000 AD. Who dat?
I'm glad I'm a short person.
Here's a different room. connected to another little room. And this has the fire pit with the smoke hole, little window. Boy, you really have to stoop low to get through. We're halfway to Capitol Reef, still on Highway 12, and we stopped at an overlook. Tilted rock. The Capitol Reef is all about the waterfold formation, a monocline where the earth was uplifted. The gray rocks are the Chinle Formation, 215 million years ago from a wet, swampy environment. Then there's sandstone, 200 million years ago. 95 million years ago, the Dakota sandstone, which is lighter colored, large volcanic chunks of basalt that were formed by lava flows 25 million years ago. The visitor center there, and then the water pocket fold. It goes down all along 100 miles. So 20 to 10 million years ago, it all eroded, all of the plant life disappeared. You can really see how the earth was tilted up. We're in Capitol Reef doing the Hickman Bridge Trail. It's about 5 p.m. The sun is hot. So these black rocks are volcanic and are the youngest rocks in the park. The ranger talked us into doing this trail tonight. Here's a collection of those basaltic volcanic rocks. Here we are at Hickman's Bridge. Beautiful natural bridge. We're under the bridge. Sure would like to know what caused the bubbles to form in these rocks, just in this little stretch here. I mean, they're just right in the rock. Found a little cave. From the top, you wouldn't even know it was there. Somebody had a fire here.
Many, I'm sure.
That's the entrance we just came under. There's deer right off the side of the road. There's one hiding in the bushes. 3, so there's 6 deer here. Here's the 7th. And you said some more over here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Surrounded by deer.
We are just at the parking lot starting this hike.
during flash floods, and you're advised not to come out here if there is threatening conditions. All this would be a river, and right now it's dry as a bone. Smooth, not quite so smooth, rough.
It's about 8:30 in the morning. Wow, this is a great 360. You can see how the sun really lights it up. Because of this wash, we're just getting such cool looking indentations and holes. These boulders are huge. Mark's there for some perspective of how big they are. Super tall canyon.
The canyon gets narrower and the walls look like they grow higher.
Here's Mark looking up.
We're standing far away so we can get some perspective. There she is.
Another little ledge carved out by the water. And another winding Narrows tunnel. I believe this is where it starts to get wide again. So that wasn't a slot canyon, but wow, the walls were so tall.
We're just looking up in this canyon here, this big slab of rock. Looks like it could fall any second.
Headed back. The sun is beating strong. Little people there to give you perspective. The way the lines are here, we're so close to them. Really shows you how the earth tilted up when the plates collided. Made this fold. So it looks like it has large bubbles. It's just looking a little different. These trees are Fremont cottonwoods. Were around as saplings when the Mormons, pioneers of the 1880s, arrived here. Well, we went over there and we had a little picnic and ate lunch under one of those trees. It was fun. Forgot to take a video of it. This is Highway 24 from Capitol Reef eastward to Hanksville. Highway 24 after taking that detour through the southern part of Capitol Reef. clouding out. We're staying here in Hanksville. We asked where we could buy some wine. They said back in Torrey.
Which is like 60 miles from here.
Free museum honor system. Oh my goodness. Monster Mountain Museum. We're at the Outlaws Roost, right across from our hotel. Looks good. Tacos and a salad. Hiking through Little Wild Horse Canyon.
Slot canyons. Woohoo!
They did say some bouldering was required. Little cave up in here. Oh, wow, it's hard to capture the grandeur of this and the freakiness of it, really.
I'm walking into a beehive. That's what it feels like. Surrounded by honeycomb, not shape, but color. There's the queen bee herself in more ways than one. I'm surrounded by honey. I'm surrounded by my honey.
Hee hee.
Hee hee.
Narrower section. Ooh, gotta watch your step here. Oh, this is cool. Woohoo. Oh man. Twisty turny. You would not want to be here in a flash flood. Wow. Blue skies up there. Wow. We're gonna have to get skinny here.
You really have to kind of like thread yourself through the needle to get down here.
It's just so incredible.
Glad I only had 2 tacos last night.
Another stretch. Oh my goodness, this is an incredible experience.
Encountering obstacle number 1.
Oh boy.
Wonder Woman!
So cool. Twisty turny. Wow, after all the spectacular things we have seen and done, this could be the highlight of the trip. It's not even a national park or a state park. Smile as you come around there. Hee-hee. Ridiculous. Unbelievable. Well, we gotta get through this water, but
Go first.
these are so high up. Really high. Woohoo! Boy, these holes are cool.
I'm thinking that this is just what it looked like to be swallowed by a whale and walking into its belly. I just wanted to show the layering up close here that we walked through. Here we go. Back for round 2.
On our way back. This should be written up as the best hike in America.
We're unanimous on that.
This is in full sun now.
Unbelievable. It just keeps going and going for 2 miles.
You can just imagine the waves of water. As the water comes down here, it crashes into one side of the wall and crashes into the other side. And then the next time it happens later, it does the opposite and it just gets wider and wider. That person there, it helps with the scale.
I hope this captures what this is all about. Like the real thing.
Trying to pass people in this part is fun.
You get down, you have to use your arms and your legs. Squeeze through.
Come on, Grandpa, you can do it.
Hey. I'm trying to do it artfully, not just do it.
We're lucky we don't have people passing us right now or going the opposite way.
Oh my goodness.
What a beautiful place. Beautiful place in its own right, even when it opens up. They're camping over there, under that formation. Coming into Goblin State Park, getting a view of some of the goblins. This layer is from 170 million years ago when there were a lot of sand dunes. And the goblins are formed by alternating layers of hard sandstone and softer siltstone. 70 million years ago, this is what North America looked like. Here's the sea coming through Utah, and we're on seafront property, it says. I guess about right there or something. Incredible. This is a 1 mile loop that goes around these hoodoos. You can walk amongst them, admire them.
It's like half hoodoo, half mushroom.
We have to go examine each and every one of those little hoodoos over there.
We're at Goblin Valley State Park, getting ready to walk up into the foothills of the mud creations from outer space.
Layers of different type of harder sandstone and softer siltstone. Eroding at different rates. It's like a little circle of the goblins. That one is freaky up there.
It's like a big billowy skirt on the bottom.
Thousands of them. This is a model of the San Rafael Reef on the San Rafael Swell, and we're here at Goblin Valley State Park, and we were here in Little White Horse Canyon earlier. It has several canyons going up the reef. In Green River at Ray's Tavern, watching the Masters.
On Sunday afternoon.
The end of the Masters. We're having a salad and a burger. Having a little bit of apple pie. He really loves golf, even more than pie. More for me. This is in Arches National Park. This is a great wall of arches.
We're at Arches, heading up to Delicate Arch along this mini arched trailway. And there's Rhonda up ahead there. There she is.
First view of Delicate Arch. That's the delicate portion.
So this is where you come out at the top of the Delicate Arch hike and you walk around this bowl and people take pictures under the Delicate Arch.
And behind Delicate Arch is this pretty canyon.
We're at the Delicate Arch. Trying to take a picture.
Take the picture.
Turn and cheese.
We're on our way down from the Delicate Arch. A lot more people coming up now. We started early. Thank God Rhonda got me up early. Oh my God, I owe her big.
This is Turret Arch in the windows section of Arches National Park. This is underneath the Turret Arch. That's Turret Arch again. These are called the windows. This is the south window. This is the back side of the windows. This is the double arch. This is the Garden of Eden. This is balanced rock. Here's balanced rock in the full sun. This is the Park Avenue viewpoint. Nice field trip to be able to do this. Big school group just got started on the hike. We are entering the southern part of the Arches National Park. At the Visitor Center, we learned that there are over 2,000 arches here in this park. We're starting Devil's Garden Trail. Landscape arch.
Wet landscape arch, which is the widest and thinnest. And I don't know how long that's going to stay, especially up there towards the right. It's very thin and very flat.
That's probably the best view of the mountains we've had. Today we're headed to Canyonlands National Park. Up here the cows graze free. Lots of little babies here. Slow down for the moo cows. We're starting a hike to Mesa Arch in Canyonlands. Clouds look pretty today. Down there is Mesa Arch. Through the arch, you can see the canyon. The mountains in the back. Clouds are really pretty. This is the Grand View overlook in Canyonlands National Park. Those in the distance are the Obojo Mountains and the Needles district of Canyonlands. This is our 2-mile hike just along the rim of the canyon. Colorado River is carving this.
Okay, I'm glad you got me up early. Again. We're at Canyonlands. There's the carving of the Colorado River down there, the darkest part. And over here to the right, we see somebody we know on the ledge through these big rocks that are just falling off the side.
The clouds changed position just a little bit, and now a different section is lit up. Another good hike?
They're all great, they really are.
And they're so different, aren't they?
They are.
We were really lucky to do this rim trail on a cloudy day.
Like the rings on a tree, but with stone. Thousands and thousands and thousands of year history right there. Trail marker. Good idea.
Island in the sky. And the canyon. We're at Buck Canyon Overlook. We're passing Whale Rock. We're starting our third hike of the day. This is Upheaval Dome. You can see how the rocks were fractured and tilted upward, either on instant impact of a meteorite or a salt dome that evaporated. Recent findings point to a meteor strike. This is Aztec Butte Overlook. This is an overlook of Green River. Right here on the Green River, and just downriver a little, it merges with the Colorado River, which goes into Lake Powell, eventually Grand Canyon and Lake Mead. The white rim is hard sandstone that was made by sand dunes. We're at the Schaefer Trail viewpoint. Here's part of that 100-mile road that you could bike ride, hike, or drive. Chinle Formation way down. Then there was the Kayenta Formation of shale and sandstone, thin layers. And then up at the top is the Navajo sandstone. This is Dead Horse Point State Park.
Colorado River here is 2,000 feet below the level we're at. And at the Grand Canyon, it's another 3,000 feet, so 5,000 feet lower.
This is where Thelma and Louise drove off the cliff. This is a potash evaporation site. Then they harvest the dry salt, and then they mine it for potassium chloride for plant fertilizer. We're noticing that curve there above the blue. There is a salt dome there. Salt gets compressed and is forced upwards, creating the dome. In late summer, when the rains come, they fill up and brine shrimp and start growing in them. Brine shrimp and vegetation. And they last till about October, November when they get cold. Just takes rain, a little bit of moisture to make the life start. This is a desert overlook at Dead Horse Point State Park. Visible from Dead Horse Point, Kayenta, 184 million years ago. Wingate, 200. Chinle, 245. Poenkopi, 251. Cutler, 270. There you go. The edge of the Cedars State Park Museum. This was a house inhabited around the mid-1000s.
So we're at a kiva site, and kivas were distinguished by the fact that they're supported by pilasters of stone inside.
So this kiva is different than a pit house because pit houses are supported by 4 poles.
Another interesting thing about kivas is they had a ventilation shaft on the side that drew the air down from the outside into the center of the kiva where they had the fire, and then it would exit through the top and the middle.
Here's the ventilation shaft where the air goes in.
So up above there's a hole. The air would come down through this channel underneath here and go over to the fire pit area, which is right here, and then exit, smoke and exit up here through.
Here's the pillars that distinguish it from a pit house. So we're here at the edge of the Cedars, and right on the border of Utah and Colorado is Hovenweep National Monument, and then Mesa Verde National Park, and then down is in New Mexico's Chaco Canyon. All of those were Pueblo communities. This is a reconstruction of something that the Indians used to use for astronomy. A sliver of light would go right down the middle of that figure. Summer solstice in the bottom spiral and winter solstice on the top where the baby comes out. That's bear's ears over there on the equinoxes, both of them. The sun sets due west on the bear's ears. This museum has a lot of cool petroglyphs on the walls. Here are the sandals that they made. All of the pottery was shaped by hand. They did not have a potter's wheel. An ola is a water storage jar, but a canteen has a smaller opening to prevent spills. Those are cute.
Cool little sculpture garden. These state parks are really fantastic. We're heading towards Monument Valley.
This is Forrest Gump Hill. We just crossed over into Arizona.
We're at Monument Valley. It's the road we're going to take down there. It's about a 2-hour drive for the 17-mile loop through the valley.
We're at the Navajo Visitor Center having some green chili stew in a burrito and Arizona bread. This is the Three Sisters. The road is gravel. Sometimes it's really bumpy and sometimes it's okay. Let's hope we get out of here.
It's fun.
Hope we get out of here without having to be towed.
We're going to have no problem whatsoever.
Oh gosh. This is Spearhead Mesa. The light is ever changing the faces of these monuments. That's the thumb. This is Gooseneck State Park. You can see where the river is just winding. This river has cut down deeper than anything we've seen on this trip. The rocks here are from the Pennsylvania period, Paradox Formation, 310 million years ago. And this is the San Juan River.
Mexican Hat, Utah. cooling off after some warm hikes. We're hot tubbing at a quaint little place on the river.
We're in Bears Ears National Monument right now. Bears Ears National Monument. That's Mexican Hat Rock. We're here at the only restaurant open in Mexican Hat, besides the 7-Eleven.
Pretty sure grilled brioche toast.
It's
very large.
Good. I love Texas toast. I haven't had it in years.
This does not have like that fancy crusting and soaked in butter thing,
Yeah.
but the meat itself is super lean, and it was a flank steak, but it really felt much more like a super lean New York strip with no fat. And we're in the middle of cattle country, and it's grass-fed, and it's delicious.
Now we're behind their hotel looking at their little fire pit area. A little too windy tonight for a fire, but we're by the river, just hanging out. We're at Natural Bridges National Monument, and this is the first bridge, Sipapu Bridge. Okay, so we're in Cedar Mesa area, and Cedar Mesa sandstone is part of the Permian era, which is before Triassic. So this is sandstone, petrified sand dunes. Trail is dirt and steep, winding down from the ledge into the canyon. Spectacular. One of 3 in this park, carved through sandstone.
2 oh wows and 1 oh my god on this hike. Look at the varnishing in this rock. It's like walking through a tree that got cut down and every other layer is brown and then lighter. Oh my gosh. Wave upon wave.
This is Kachina Bridge, the second bridge in Natural Bridges. First part of this trail is on this slick rock. It's a really good trail. They have steps carved into the sandstone and handrails in places to make it accessible to people who don't want to rappel. They say they don't allow rappelling in the sandstone because they say it just erodes it too much. It's a windy day today, 20-mile-an-hour winds, and you can see the sand just blowing off the rocks. Kachina Bridge. It's a better view from behind the bridge. Although behind the bridge is a matter of opinion of where that is. Here it goes. This is a Watchamo Bridge. This looks like a big termite mound. Bear's ears. on the Trail of the Ancients Scenic Byway. This is about the Anasazi. These are the Indians that occupied the Four Corners area for 1,300 years, starting with the Basket Maker II period between AD 1 and 500, where they made baskets. Then Basket Maker III, 500 to 750, they actually made pottery. Both of these dug pits and lived in them. In the Pueblo I era, 750 to 900, they started living in structures on land, started weaving cotton textiles. In the Pueblo II period, 900 to 1100, the pottery started having designs. They lived in surface structures, but the pit house became a kiva, which was more of a religious structure. They also started irrigating, and they kept turkeys nearby for food. In Pueblo III, 1100 to 1300, they started having more multi-story pueblos, sometimes built in alcoves and in the sandstone canyon walls. They did a lot of irrigating. Around 1250, they abandoned Utah, moved down to New Mexico, probably because of drought. These are the Mule Canyon ruins, probably Pueblo 2 and 3, because this is a kiva. This has been reconstructed. These are the remains of their multi-story housing complex.
We're heading to the house on fire.
We're coming off of this wash trail and up this slick rock. This is the house on fire. Named so because in the morning light, if you get it just right, this rock is fiery red. Looks like it's all on fire.
We're inspecting the house on fire, looking for clues.
About 5 or 6 little rooms in here. Really small. Can't go in there, but it's a little house. It's another little room. Maybe a storage area right there. I mean, we're on a cliff here. Pueblo Indians. They built it with mortar and bricks. So these people lived around 1,000 or later.
We made it to the house on fire. If the light was up high all there, you'd really see it be red, popping. Because in the shade, we're gonna walk up and maybe you'll get a better sense of coloration. Can you imagine living up here? The ranger told us surprisingly few people went here. Well, there was no sign telling us where the road was, and you have to go through a gate once you get there.
Caution, rattlesnakes.
Caution rattlesnakes.
Okay. This is Cave Towers Trail, still on the Trail of the Ancients. Pueblo dwelling or tower built around 1200. Believe this is Mule Canyon. Headed to Monticello now. We're gonna be going through that crack.
It's crack, it's crack. Holy smokes.
there's a few cows. Swimming yesterday. Oh my goodness. This is newspaper rock. Wow. So these petroglyphs were carved from 0 to 1300 AD. Different cultures from the archaic through basket weaver to Pueblo and the Fremont Indians. So these are petroglyphs carved in where pictographs are painted on. This is the Needles district of Canyonlands, which is the southern district. Before we were in the Island of the Sky district. I think I did. Oh yeah, I got it. Well, I thought I saw enough canyons, but this is really pretty. Wow, this is a spectacular drive through. We're not even in Canyonlands National Park yet. We're in Bears Ears, actually. We're in Canyonlands, the Needles district, but these are not the Needles yet. Starting to see the spires of the Needles district. The Needles were formed by sandstone sliding over salt, which caused the sandstone to fracture into parallel cracks, and then they eroded. We're starting to hike at Elephant Hill. Don't know how far we're going to get. It's going to be a challenging one. This is just the beginning of it. We can still see our car.
It's already 5-star hike.
Oh my gosh. We're never going to finish this hike at this rate. We haven't even come a mile.
Came here from Alabama 3 times to do this hike.
It's hailing. What are we going to do?
Yesterday it was beware of rattlesnakes. Today it's hail.
Not sure if we should turn back. Well, it hasn't stopped hailing. There's a little slot canyon, not really a slot canyon, but it's a little slot. We're thinking we might not be able to get back up without getting really wet. So I think we're going to turn around.
We continue to get snowed on, hailed on. We decided no hike is worth a life. So we are scampering back 5% chance of precipitation today, by the way. There's your 5%. So we were here 10 minutes ago. There was no snow here, really. Just little flakes. And now it's already building up. Everybody's heading back. Well, we had to turn back because of the lightning and the water accumulation. But it was still a heck of a lot of fun.
Okay, we made it back to the car. This calls for a celebration.
Hot chocolate.
Yeah. This is a model of Canyonlands. And where were we?
We were right there. Elephant Canyon. Parked right up there.
Yeah.
This is Dead Horse. This is Dead Horse State Park.
Dead Horse. Where we
View
were.
from here.
Yeah.
And then before that, we were all the way out here.
The Grand Viewpoint. Yeah.
And here's Island in the Sky.
Upheaval Dome. We were there too. That's where the meteor hit.
Right there.
Or something. Whatever happened.
And I got to say, I told you so about getting Mediterranean.
We came back to Moab, had a huge lunch. Now we're doing a night hike. Corona Arch. We're not in any park right now, just a little west of Moab. This is the Bowtie Arch. There's the other arch. The rocks are really tilted and thin layers. Especially right there.
Yay. One down, one to go.
So the hike we just did to Corona Arch. Corona Arch was in the Navajo sandstone, and what we walked over was the Kayenta Formation. It was both deposited in the Jurassic period. Here's some dinosaur tracks. Three-toed meat eater.
Gosh, the wheels can go in every different direction.
Like those cars we've been
Oh
seeing.
my gosh.
Traveling along the Colorado. This is where the climbers were. Moab and Fisher Towers are in the Permian 250 million years ago. So you see the top rocks we'll see are in the Moab Formation. We're doing a hike called Fisher's Towers. We are little northwest of Moab. Those are the towers, but looking right into the sun. Really pretty views.
This is the Saturday before Easter, and we are hiking into Fisher's Towers. They look like a cathedral. Some huge spire up there.
Boy, I'm looking straight up. These are completely vertical walls here. Well, I can see we go down this ladder, but where we go after that, I'm not sure. In the sun now, and it is a spire. Straight up. This is what we're climbing up now. Just a slick rock. Although with all these ripples, it's not so slick. Last day of hiking and we're starting to see wildflowers. This is called the Titan. Sometime during the vacation, we get one of these peanut busty parfait. We're at the Capitol building. Easter morning. State symbol of Utah is the beehive. It symbolizes industry. Well, we're on the steps of the Capitol building and we can see mountains, downtown, more mountains. This is the state seal of Utah. Industry is its motto. They let us in. Here's the dome. Paintings of the pioneers. We're at the airport and we're getting a really good meal because we're going to be here for 3 hours. So you have salmon patty. I started out with rainbow trout at Bryce and ending up in Salt Lake City. Rainbow trout again.
There's no doubt that Utah is the tidiest place on earth.